Okay, so example 3 asks us to find the coefficient of x squared in the expansion of 3x squared minus 4x plus 7 times negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 6. So we've got our two different polynomials. We've got 3x squared minus 4x plus 7, and our second polynomial, which is negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 6. So we know that in order to expand these, each term of the first polynomial has to multiply by each term of the second polynomial. And that creates a larger expanded looking polynomial. Well, if we're not asked to expand the whole thing, we're just trying to find the coefficient of x squared. So we need to just figure out where all the x squared terms will come from. So each term in the first will multiply by everything in the second, but we don't need to know all of those. So let's look at 3x squared. Well, 3x squared is already a squared term. So we just need to figure out what term on the other polynomial will multiply by it to keep it as an x squared. So that term is going to be this 6, because it doesn't have an x with it, so our x squared will stay the same. Well, this is going to combine to make 18x squared. Now when we go to our negative 4x, we need to figure out which terms in the other polynomial will multiply by it to make a squared term. Well, in order to go from an x, which we have over here, to an x squared, we need to multiply by a term with just x in it, which that is this 8x here. And if we do negative 4x times 8x, we get negative 32x squared. And lastly, we have our positive 7. So in order to turn that into a squared term, it has to multiply by a term with x squared already. So we look over on the other side. There's only one term with an x squared, and that is negative 2x squared. So 7 times negative 2x squared makes negative 14x squared. So all of these terms here are going to exist in our expanded version, but we just don't have all that extra stuff because we've been able to analyze and find the ones that are just going to have an x squared term in them. So now we have to add all these up together. So if we get 18x squared plus a negative 32x squared plus a negative 14x squared, and add all these up, we're going to get our answer. So you should get 18 plus a negative 32 makes negative 14. And then we have adding another negative 14 is going to make a negative 28x squared. So our coefficient is going to be negative 28. So we can skip some work if we analyze the problem and break it down and know how an expansion actually works and what comes out of it.